Okay, this is a intro message for MySpace and YouTube and any other websites dealing with communicating with people, adding people to the buddy list. First criteria, number one point I like to make is I don't add people to the buddy list unless I've talked to them physically, talked to them on the phone, or spoken with them by voice chat, like using Ventrilo and TeamSpeak. Those are programs mainly geared for gamers, but they can be used for conference calls, things of that nature. I like to point out that too, I don't do email for discussions, instant messenger for discussions, or typing for discussions, or debates, or anything along those lines. That's two. And three, I've noticed from thousands of previous experiences on email, when I first started using email, I was pretty much self-taught, and I learned the hard way how people really are in email. They don't take the time to speak to you on email. When you try to get a hold of them, ask them to speak to them, or even a polite request that can I get a number from you, or you can call me here, and you can block your number. They're pretty much oblivious to your courtesy and trying to respect them, and then they ignore you. I have a friend on here that feels the same way. He says hello on MySpace, and people just don't respond back to him. Well, why? MySpace is a social network, and so is YouTube, to meet people. Not, I understand there's some people that just want to sit there and monkey around and just sit there and play a little game when they're off of work and they're tired and they don't want to deal with anybody else. My standards are a little bit higher than that. They're normal. I think everybody else is just a little bit substandard on effective communication. It says here, one of my philosophies on life: I believe in giving equal time to everyone, no matter if they are a homeless person, the CEO, or the President of the United States. I only ask to be treated the same way. The way I see things is I'm never too busy to speak to anyone that needs/requests to talk to me. Learn this and incorporate it into your own life. It is that important. Cerebral 01. And that's one of my quotes. Out of quite a few quotes here. Email, instant messenger, and typing impersonalizes effective communication between people. You do not see their face, you do not know their mannerisms, the sound or tone of their voice. It is substandard communication, and the anonymity of the internet and email has virtually made it impossible for old-fashioned, personalized, effective communication. It is not the greatest thing since sliced bread. Well, that might be considered overkill on my part from a lot of people, but it's the truth. I mean, it really impersonalizes communication. We've gotten to this point because these people want to so-called feel comfortable and remaining anonymous and behind their computer, and they feel more comfortable revealing their true self. Yet they don't understand that it's really impersonal. And especially when somebody's email is sitting in somebody else's box for 2 months and they never reply to it, or they never even see it because they don't have the technical computer savvy to look in their junk email folder and realize, hey, somebody just tried to get in touch with me and I didn't respond. How rude is that? They don't think, well, that is pretty rude. And I've been through thousands of these experiences, and I've written replies in all sorts of ways. And it's almost like I have to really be 100% diplomatic, even though they're not entitled to my respect or courtesy, because they were rude to begin with when they didn't answer my email. And I'm having to write another one because that's the only way I could get in contact with them, just to get a hold of these people. That is just really disrespectful. And people just don't. It's just whatever feels good, do it. They don't realize their conduct. You know how many times for $1 or a nickel for every time I've had to say this, I'd be a billionaire. Right here, you take the time to write a short or long letter, send it via email. It's polished, detailed, but concise. You know, concise as you can be for whatever amount of data, information you got to put out. You know, if it's a day's worth of talking, you put it in an email that takes 5 pages. That's pretty concise. You know, and okay, it's polished, detailed, but concise, and most of all to the point. You expect an answer, right? Wrong. From my experience, most people tend to ignore all these factors. They ignore you. Well, you know, I've had a few of these, opinionated, these people as comments, well, oh, well, if you say that, they're just going to ignore you more. Because they're rude. They're ignorant, they're disrespectful, and they're rude. And they don't care about how their actions affect others. You know, you can't point the finger and blame the victim or the person that's right and try to make it look like they're in the wrong. It's just not true. What I'm saying is I walk the talk. I do what I say on here. Cons. The anonymity of the internet and email might just lead to total impersonalization of society. Pros, nothing good about it. Although you can send files on it. That's all you can really do, send files, attachments, URLs and links. That's kind of hard to just read off on the phone. That's about it. I'll give credit where credit's due. But I'm so disgusted with people just ignoring others on email when, you know, they're promoting something that's really a step backwards in society. You know, they just don't take the time. And I had this one guy say on gaming, oh, it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. No. Wrong. Because it's free, it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. No. And it leads to my other quote. Because email is free does not make it better. I would rather pay for quality than quantity. Yeah, you want quality here. Not you send out 1,000 emails, you might get one response back. You want all these people to respond to you. You want it done. It's basically the old age golden rule. Do unto others as you want done to yourself. So if you want to be treated like dirt and get ignored, I guess you can treat others that way, you know. Just, you know, tell them to, you know, that's the way I want to be treated, like dirt. So you do that to them. I guess that's following the rule. But I don't never, most people I would think want to be treated with good respect and common courtesy, which is downplayed. Really downplayed. And you don't have to be a total do-gooder. And I'm not an angel. 100%. You don't have to be 100% an angel every 24/7, but you do have to treat people right. You know, it goes back onto you. You know. A couple other quotes. None are more unjust in their judgments of others than those who have a high opinion of themselves. Charles Hayden Spurgeon, British Baptist preacher, 1834 to 1892. Well, you might want to say, well, okay, I'm full of myself. But actually, I know the difference between right and wrong. A lot of people can't even recognize that. And I'm not full of myself. I'm just very honest. There's a difference. Big difference. Honest and truth derived from experience and logic. You know, here's one of my other quotes out of 50. I just don't want to take all the inordinate amount of time on here. With so many people in the world, no one should have to be lonely at all. Selfishness, bias, and ignorance has a prime role in the cause of this. It sure does. You know, what's that saying? Free your mind, like in you know that movie, Free Your Mind. When that certain somebody says, you know, get out of your box. You know, not be so ignorant and closed-minded. Well, why would you want to be that way? Because it's educational. Number one, first off. Two, it makes you a better person. Three, why should you care if you're a better person? Because you're just making society a step backward. You know, if it's pass the buck, let the other guy do it. Well, what if 1,000 people said pass the buck? Nobody would do it. Try to display some upstanding, forthright conduct and be fair. Because above all, I'm a fair person. So don't come adding me to the list, because you're going to see it. This is right in your face when you get on my page. Don't add me unless you call me or email me once, because once is all I'm going to do for a phone number.